Hey everybody, welcome to the Which Way podcast. This is your host, Misty Jacoby, and it has been a while. First, let me apologize for my voice. I am having an allergic reaction to some medication, so my throat is a little uh, not happy, so just bear with me. Sorry, it's raspy. I have to be honest with you, I have really no idea exactly where this episode is going to go. Hell, at this point, I don't even know what I'm going to title it. I just felt compelled to get on here. And so that's what I wanted to do. And I will say last week I feel like I had a specific idea and a specific plan in place as far as what I wanted to do. And there has been so much happening and so much going on that it's still a daily, like I'm having to process it daily. Um, I had my therapy session this morning. Most of you guys know, you hear me talk about it on TikTok or on Facebook, that I do weekly therapy. And so I had therapy this morning, and I just I just I'm really in a different place now, and I want to kind of, I guess, just kind of fill you guys in and, bring you up to date, I guess. um and then we'll see where we're going, because it is absolutely not the direction that I thought we would be going, that's for sure. So most of you know that I am going through a divorce. I'm still going through that. I'm hopefully at the end of it now. I'm just waiting for um, the other party to sign the final decree that was sent over to me the other day. I've already signed off on it. So I'm just waiting for their signature, I guess, and then at that point, it's going to go to the judge for the judge to sign, and then it should be final. So hopefully that happens here soon. I really keeping my fingers crossed for that, because I know that I would really like to see the end in sight now. For most of you that don't know, I have already moved. So I'm living in my new place, and I am very comfortable. I honestly, I don't even think there's words to describe the way that I feel from the environment that I was in to the environment that I'm in now. I just feel so relieved and so comfortable. Um, I know that my youngest son, who's with me, my other two are over 18, but my youngest son, who's with me, I know he feels the same way. Um, and we just couldn't be happier where we're at, and with the people that we're surrounded by. They have definitely made the biggest difference. Um, I feel like, especially up until last week, I feel like the biggest thing on my mind was all of the things I was finding out about my marriage and during my marriage, and the things that happened. I could not believe was real. Most of you guys know I'm in my 40s. I'm 43 years old. I could not make sense of the things that I was going through actually happening to somebody in their 40s, because I feel like the things that I was being put through and the things that were testing me are things that you do in high school, when you're really young and immature and stupid. But then I guess those are the words, right? Young, immature, and stupid. You don't necessarily have to put an age to that. So I guess it could happen when you're older, if someone wants to put you through those things. Um, I just really couldn't believe that it was my reality. I I feel like with my first marriage, we were married for 8 years. We just did not get along as far as a married couple. We co-parent really, really well together. And like this last week, I was really sick. And it was my weekend, because he's with his um dad for the month of July. And it was my weekend, and I was really sick, and I called him and I said, "Hey, I'm really sick. I'm in the ER. Um, can you grab him a day early?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I got you." And so he comes over to the house and gets him, and it's just like we just co-parent really well. It's like whatever we need, he's there. If I need him to help me with my car, he's there. It's just like he treats me the way that you would want your children to see their parent being treated. So it doesn't matter that we didn't get along as a couple. It doesn't matter that we weren't good together, like stronger together as a couple. What matters is that we realized that, and that we did what we had to do. We divorced, we separated. I moved into my own home. He moved into his own home, and um, we just did what we had to do, and we did what we needed to do for the kids, and we co-parent really, really well, and I'm really, really grateful for that, especially at this point in my second divorce, because I'm looking at my second divorce now, and the one thing that I am extremely, extremely grateful for is that I have no children with her, that I do not have to have anything to do with her ever again. And that is like chef's kiss. Like, I am so elated that I don't have to have anything to do with her, because if I had to co-parent with her, I honestly don't know what I would do. I don't know if I could make it, and it's like I sit back and I see the things that she says to her friends and the talks that she has with them, and I'm just sitting here going, I can't blame them. I can't be mad at them. I can't insult them. First of all, I don't know them. Second of all, I did the same thing when I first, began my relationship with her. Her ex tried to, or excuse me, what I believed to be her ex, tried to contact me and warn me and tell me. And I listened to her. I listened. She said, my ex is crazy. You need to block her on everything right now. Don't answer her calls. Don't talk to her. Don't do this. Don't do that. And I believed her. So I blocked the ex I never spoke to her. I blocked her on everything. And anytime I got a message from an anonymous number or an anonymous or a fake Facebook page or whatever, I blocked it. I sent it to her and I blocked it. And I said, look, I'm getting this. I blocked it. Um, so I trusted her, you know? Um, and so I can't be mad at anybody that's in her life that she is, talking to now, telling them that I'm the crazy one. It's like one of the things that I said on my TikTok the other day. I found out last week that I'm not the second ex-wife, I'm the fourth. So there's that. Um, but there's something to be said here when when you look at my ex, we co-parent really well, we get along. Um, we have co-parented really well since 2019. Um, so you look at my past, and you look at my past relationship, and then you look at hers. You look at the relationship that I had with her, and then you look at the relationship she had before me, and the one she had before that, and the one she had before that. And there's only one common factor in all of those relationships. We're not all crazy. I know that the people that are friends with her and that love her want to believe her. Um, it's easier to believe somebody that you love than it is to take a step back and go, why are all these people coming together saying this about her? How are they all crazy? Like, literally, how is she finding all of the crazy people? And you know what? And so be it. If they want to lump me in there and say that I'm a crazy one, um, by golly, you go for it. So that's totally up to you. This I'm not saying her name. I mean, if you know me, then you know who it is. But other than that, I'm not saying her name. I'm not out to get her. You can believe what you want to believe about her and what you want to believe about me. Um, this is mainly just to say that this is a reality. This truly does happen to people, and it's mind blowing. But it's like, you know, I'm still in the process of trying to figure out what my lesson was in this. There's a few lessons. There's not just one lesson to be had here. Um, and I'm still trying to figure that out, because I cannot, for any other reason, think, why would somebody come into my life? Because she had tried to date me in 2011, and I told her no, because she liked to party and I wasn't into the party scene. I didn't want to party. I didn't want to drink. And that's what she was doing a lot of. And she would even call me in the middle of the night drinking. We'd known each other for 8 years before I dated her. And when I say no, I don't mean in person. We didn't know each other in person. So that's part of where um uh the mishap happened, because had I known her in person and seen her life in person, I never would have given her a chance to begin with. Um and she stayed sort of like a social media friend of mine throughout my entire first marriage. Um, and I when my divorce happened and I started dating her, I trusted her. I mean, I had left a healthy relationship, but just because my first marriage didn't last doesn't mean it wasn't a healthy relationship. And I learned a lot in that, and I grew a lot in that. And I was in a good place when I met her. I really felt in a good place. I lived on my own with my kids. We were just doing our thing. Um, my oldest son lived with me. He had a job. My other two were, um, my youngest was I think, just about to turn 4. Um, but we were all doing really great. We were doing really well. We had the co-parenting thing down. Everything was good. It was good. And then she came along, and I thought, finally, I get my person. That's what I thought. And when her and I first reconnected, um, it was friendly. It wasn't There was no flirting, it wasn't any of that. It was just friendly conversation. She was married, I was going through my divorce, and um the conversations were never inappropriate. And then probably a few months in, I don't remember exact dates, so I'm going to refrain from saying dates because I don't remember exact dates. A few months in, she expressed to me that her marriage was over and that she was going to be filing for divorce as soon as she could get the money together, and that she was staying where she was staying until the lease was up, so that they could have the lease could be up or whatever. Her and I had arranged to meet in person for the first time in Corpus, and she told me that she was going to be going with her mom to Corpus because she had an interview with, I'm not going to say with who, but she had an interview there in Corpus. And so we were meeting there, and she told me what days to get the hotel, and I got the hotel. And I never met her mom while we were there, but she hung out with me until about 1 o'clock in the morning, and then she went back to her room because she had her thing to do the next day. And that's the story that I have had for the last 5 years. When people say, "How did y'all meet?" and we say, "This is how we met in person." I found out last week she wasn't there with her mother. She was there with her wife. She was there with her wife and with her son. And they were under the impression that they were good. Um, The wife did show me proof, so I do have that. Anything I say on here, by the way, I either have screenshots, emails, documents, records. I have something. I'm not going to just make up something out of thin air. Um, but she showed me that stuff. So that was a little bit of a blow, because that right there told me that day one of our relationship was a lie. Every bit of it. So everything that I thought that I had felt for these last 5 years of being with this person was all fake. She never loved me. She never cared. It was never it was never real on her part. This whole time I was thinking that she was getting divorced, and I would tell her, "Okay, well, that's your business. That's your thing. You deal with it." And I blocked, just like she told me to block. I blocked everybody. I blocked the people she told me to block. I didn't talk to the people she told me not to talk to. Now I know why. Now I know why I had to block them. She told me they were crazy. She told me they were dangerous. She told me they would do this, they would do that. So I blocked everybody because I didn't want that. And now I'm finding out that every bit of it, every bit of it was a lie. Every bit of it. And even I saw all the messages back and forth. Even a month into our relationship, she was still messaging kissy faces to her ex-wife, telling her ex-wife that she was staying with her cousin. I have those screenshots too, where it shows that she's like, "I'm at my cousin's house," but the Life 360 picture that's on there is my address. I'm not her. I'm not her cousin. So this whole time, I'm thinking we're in a relationship and we're starting our lives together. And she's still messaging her ex-wife, telling her, "Give me time and I'm going to come back and we're going to work it out." So day one, our relationship was never real. I don't know why she went through with marrying me. I don't know why she proposed to me. Um, I know that her ex finally moved on to who she's happily married now. Congratulations to her. And I know that she finally moved on with her when she caught on that this person was being dishonest and not going to come back. Um, because I happen to have somebody on my Facebook social media that was related to the ex-wife, and so she got ratted out. And I'm glad she did, but I wish I had known. Like I wish I had known all of this was going on. Um, and at this point I still trusted her because I didn't know any of this yet. And it wasn't until a few months into our relationship I started seeing things here and there. Like there was one time where we had a disagreement. We still hadn't had an actual fight. We never fought in the beginning, and we had a disagreement about something. Don't remember what it was. Super trivial, just not even a big deal. And I'd seen in her messages that she was talking to a friend, and she was telling them I was being a crazy bitch, and I was like, um, "Come again? Like, excuse me? What?" Like, what happened that made you say that to them? Because that, like, your definition of crazy bitch and my definition of crazy bitch are completely two different things if that's what happened. And she apologized and she said, "No, I overreacted. I was just mad. It won't happen again, blah, blah, blah." I don't know if it ever happened again or not. Um, but every couple of months, I would see conversations that would be kind of uncomfortable, kind of inappropriate. And the thing is that between two people, there's always going to be a difference of opinion. There's always going to be something that makes one person uncomfortable and not makes the other person uncomfortable. And that's okay. But the thing about being in a partnership together is that when your partner is expressing to you that something is making them uncomfortable, that's something for you to take a look at. It may not make you uncomfortable if your partner were to do it, but if your partner's expressing to you that something is making them uncomfortable, in an adult relationship, you want to sit down and take a look at that. And you want to say, okay, let's see what's making you uncomfortable. Let's see why this is making you uncomfortable. If my partner comes to me and says, this is making me uncomfortable, I want to fix it. I really do. It may not be overnight. It may not be right away. It may be a habit. It could be anything, but it's something that you want to take seriously. And I, I feel like she's really good with words because she would always say, "Yes, let's fix this." And she would say, I'm not going to talk to that person anymore." And sometimes it wasn't even me saying, "Don't talk to that person." It was just saying, "This type of conversation is making me uncomfortable." And then she would take it to the extreme of, "Well, then I just won't talk to them again." Okay, well, that's not what I asked. I'm just saying this type of conversation is making me uncomfortable. And then a couple months later, I would find deleted messages. So she's still talking to said person. She's just now doing it behind my back, which makes it worse because if there's nothing to hide, why are you hiding? You know what I mean? And it just progressively got worse. And it just progressively got worse. And it just kept getting worse. Um, I'm not going to rehash everything about what made me file for divorce finally. But it's like that's not the only thing that happened in our marriage. And she can tell people what she wants to tell people. She can believe what she wants to believe. I know what the truth is, and she knows what the truth is, whether she wants to admit it or not. And I have realized that I am at the point now where, I mean, when this first happened, and even for the first couple of months, and even when I was finding out new information as recently as last week, I wanted, I don't know what I wanted. I wanted her to suffer. I wanted revenge. I couldn't believe that somebody could keep putting women and children through what she's putting women and children through and scaring them enough that they get quiet, especially when they have all this documentation and they have everything to prove everything. I could not wrap my mind around it. And now I'm at the point where I feel like what I went through with her is just making me that much more grateful for the people that I have in my life. And I know, like, when you go through something like this, you would probably be skeptical and say, I am never going to love again. I'm never going to trust anybody again. I'm never going to give anybody my heart again. And I can 100% relate to that. However, because of what I went through with her, I know that because that kind of evil exists, that there is somebody out there that is 10 times more capable of loving me. And if I don't let my heart go again, and I don't love again, and I don't trust again, then I'm going to miss the opportunity with that person. And I don't want to miss that opportunity. I was angry. I was angry for a long time. I was hurt for a long time. I wanted my voice to be heard. She can do what she wants. I don't care anymore. She can go lie to the next person. She can go laugh about it, how it's funny what she put another person through. It's like you can laugh at somebody else's expense all you want. It just speaks more of your character. I know that I want my heart open. I know that I want to experience love the way that I give it. And that's not going to happen if I'm waiting for her to get hers. So I don't care anymore. This is a reality that people go through all the time, and it breaks my heart to think about that. It breaks my heart to think about the women, the men, the children that are being put through this at somebody else's hands. It's sad. Some of the things that my own child has said to me, it just puts me into tears just thinking about it, because I had no idea. He was talking to me the other day in the car, and he said, "She never hugged me back." And I just thought, wow, I'm so sorry, buddy. And that's on me. That's on me, because I knew from a long time ago that she wasn't the one. I knew she was doing shit behind my back, and I knew she was lying to me. And I fought and I stayed because I chose to marry her, and I married for better or worse. But I'm not going to let what she has put us through skew my view on love, because I know what I'm capable of. And I know for a fact that there's somebody out there waiting for me right now.